What's up, Prime Nation? Welcome, everybody. Here we are, your fellow primates, once again for another episode of Prime Time Live. Today's episode number 6, we're going to discuss security and protection. Mom always said to use it. What are we using? Right now, today, we have with us myself, Brandon, over to the left of me or the right, depending on how your screen is represented, probably to the up. To the up. That's what they're telling me. To the up, we have Brittany. And then to the up left, we have Jess. Yeah, she's showing me the camera. Okay. There we go. I finally got it up on my phone. So
his is showing funny. Yeah.
Oh. Mine's just moving slow.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Amy should be joining, right? She's just not.
Yes, Amy will be joining soon. Our dear friend Don is up in, is it Connecticut?
No, Maine.
Maine. Close. He's up in Maine. Had a wonderful opportunity to do some teaching at a school with about some of the leather work that he does. So he's taking care of that. And Josh, our dear friend Josh, well, he just always has internet problems. So with that being said, excuse me, clear my throat. Let's talk about security and protection. Ooh, it just got dark quick. Must be getting cloudy here in Colorado. All right, security and protection. Obviously, this is the internet world. We're living in the internet age. There's pretty much, no matter how much you want to get off grid, you're not going to get away from the internet. You go in town and you go shopping at your local grocery store, you're on the internet in some form, or at least utilizing the internet to access the video that they're taking of you. So with that being said, how do you secure yourself online and make sure that the general no good people,
the scumbags,
do-gooders sounded good, and I'm trying to think of like the bad version of do-gooders, and I can't think of it.
Scumbags.
Yeah. The assholes. Let's just
fart
say,
holes.
Yeah, we'll call them fart holes. How do you keep them from accessing your information and taking advantage of your personal stuff? So with that, I hand it off to one of the ladies. Nobody's off to my left or my right, so we're going to point up this way.
I'll go. I'll talk about it. All right. So a couple ways that I protect myself. I don't have my GPS on. I make sure that I'm not geotagging my shit so that no one can snatch my kids up from school or wherever, even though that might be good. No, I'm just kidding. I also have different passwords for all of my shit. It's not all the same password. So if something gets hacked, I'm not fucked on the everything front. So I don't even trust like the password keepers. I have them written down safely. So if I have a house fire, I guess I'm fucked. So don't burn my house down, please. Right? Legit. Let's see, what else? Clearly I know that it's online, so whatever I share is for the world to see. I think we even talked about this our last live. Whatever you post online, pretend like it's a billboard with your picture on a billboard with your picture next to it. So what I'm posting, I am posting that for the public to see. As far as like banking security, etc., I made sure that the bank that I bank with has privacy policies, doesn't share my information. I don't save my banking password online. I type it in every time. Yeah, I don't know. Probably some other shit, but yeah, that's about the gist of it.
See, I made a post about security and kind of asking people what basically is least secure about themselves, and I realized that I don't actually take care of my security the way I should. Like, I mean, Yeah.
there's a lot of things that, especially when it comes to social media, I think people put out there and they don't realize how it opens them up. Recently, I've had a situation in the family, excuse me, that has led to one of my family members' homes being broken into, and it was the result of some posting being done on social media, letting the world know that that particular person wasn't home, so the house was, free game. The same thing applies with your activity online and securing yourself online. Be aware of what you're putting out there, and like you said, Jess, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Big thing. I learned that a while ago when yay, handing me the trackpad. I learned that a while ago when my computer first crapped out about a year ago, and I thought I lost my hard drive. I thought I lost all my files to everything. Well, now I keep everything backed up, especially the important stuff, on multiple external hard drives as well as on the cloud. So no matter what happens, my stuff is protected, and that's just one part of the security. I think another part too is, like you said, Jess, not sharing your real vital information. Like, don't share your address. You can tell people you live in such and such town if you want to, or don't. It's up to you. But don't share your address, especially if you're doing like we do and you do stuff publicly. You don't want, the Prince of Nigeria to come seek you out,
I do. He's got lots of money.
Yeah, well, apparently, but I would like to see it before he starts knocking on my door.
Well, even beyond that, like I personally in my home have a security system. We set it when we leave. We set it in the nighttime, and I kind of, take that on even online. Making sure that you are secure. We live in a great area. I don't know that we got it because it was a deal with like the package that we bought. But really, first of all, the other day, late at night, in the middle of the night, our one of the sensors fell off of the door, and the alarm started going off at like 2 a.m. No one fucking cared. I was the only one that woke up. So I'm like, oh Jesus, like what's gonna happen if we legit have a break-in? But nonetheless, I was alerted. So that again, I think re-solidified how important security was to me.
Well, see, and I grew up with a security alarm in my house and essentially had the same experience. Like the only time it ever went off was when either this one of the sensors malfunctioned, or because we lived in a duplex, the tenant once in a while would forget the code and try to guess. And yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, most security nowadays people take it for granted, but I think the one thing that a lot of people fail to do is you got to think like a criminal. Like if you want to protect your stuff, you got to think, what would a criminal use this for? And again, like, I come back to that recent experience with my family. My sister, I'll put it out there, when she made the post, she didn't realize in making the post that someone would take that post and use it that way. And I'm like, you gotta think like that if you're gonna protect yourself from that. And no matter how bad you think, there's always someone out there that's thinking worse. So that you also have to stay up on the what's the word? The culture. Keep up with the news and keep up with the changes that take place on the platforms that you use on a regular basis. And definitely do not share your personal information, your super personal stuff.
so are we gonna
Before we
welcome
go
Amy?
too farther, let's welcome
Yeah.
Amy now that she's sitting there on her front porch. She's joined us, so baby, welcome. We got the party started. We got some people here. We want to give a shout out to Michael
Calicini.
I always struggle on that one. What's up, Mike? Welcome. Thanks for watching with us. Charles Moore, also welcome. Thank you for watching, bud. I feel like there's a couple more on here.
Brent.
We got
Mike says you look very French today. Well,
I look very French.
Say.
I'm growing the stash back out. It's a little sparse right now because I've got to get it to fill in. I just recently started oiling it, but I'm growing it out. It's a Colorado
Are
thing.
you are you going for that like little like turnout
yeah.
situation? Because that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that and then grow this down into a point. Go for that Spanish conquistador look where I got the
Right?
I was
sweeties.
gonna say I was gonna buy you a beret. Like you
There you
need like a
go.
beret.
yeah.
Oh, and the artist
An
shirt. with the-
ascot.
Yeah.
But that would cover up your hair, and that is a no-go because the
That's
hair.
true.
I can't
Yeah,
wear
we gotta
anything
skip
on
the
the
hat.
head. I was thinking maybe an eye patch, but that's about it.
Eye patch.
Yeah, because I mean, pirates do that, right? Like you seen Black Sails, the show. They all got the turned out stash.
See, Mike says handlebars.
Yeah, the handlebar stash. Yeah, there's a term for the look. I don't know what it's called. Some people say I look like what's that called? A hipster. I just think it looks good. I don't know what the fuck the terms are. I
You
just,
wear like funky socks that you can see out your like shoes.
no, I don't wear pants that you can see my socks because I'm a man.
I could not imagine. Could you imagine Brandon wearing like skinny jeans?
No.
Like
Oh my god.
So
No.
No offense to anybody that does it. I can't see it on Brandon.
I can't either, but we were shopping in Arkansas and we were at this clothing store and I looked at a pair of skinny jeans and I'm like, you know what? There's got to be something to this because everybody's fucking doing it. And I looked at him and the leg was this wide. And I looked at my leg and I looked at the leg of the. There's no way my leg is going in there. So I don't know what's going on with the genealogy these days, like evolution or something, but we need more protein in diets. People need eggs, beef. You need meat for every meal.
Beans have good protein.
We don't
There you go.
need guys eating a lot of beans. Come on, we have a problem with that already.
protein. Get your protein.
Yes, get
Get
your
your
protein.
protein.
Get rid of
Broke
this
is a
skinny
thing,
jean
so-
fad.
Guess that's the thing. Do you consider your diet habits as part of your mustache and hair regimen?
Actually, this affects my diet. I'll tell you this right now. Any man that rocks a monster stash, props, because you can't eat normal. You got to eat like a bird. Because anything you put in your mouth first must be swept by the stash. And you usually take in the stash while eating. And then when you bite, it yanks your lip down and it hurts. You can't eat a monster burger anymore. You got to cut off little bird bites.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta ask Nick Tilia how he eats.
Yeah.
Get it done.
He doesn't. You see how skinny he is? Duh.
Anyways,
So,
That was a great tangent there.
Oh,
let's get
and-
down to the science.
And Mike
Bean-
seconds that the bean diet wouldn't be good because it causes gas.
yeah, exactly. We have an
Gas,
issue with cow
You know,
farts
coming
as
from a
it is.
medical perspective, gas and healthy bowel habits are so crucial.
It is true. That's very true.
I'm pretty sure the topic today was security and protection. What are we protecting against? Constipation?
Okay. Guide us back on track, Jeff.
Back on track. Amy, talk about
Yeah.
what do you do online to protect yourself?
You know, talk about your bowel movements.
Yeah, see, I am an open book. My husband is very embarrassed by me. But I do know a thing or two. Like, for instance, my father-in-law, he's like, do you know my password for GoDaddy? And I was like, yeah, let me look it up. Do you have LastPass? Because I know this is SMS texting, but I'm not about to put your password on there. Like, I can be very paranoid, but then other times I'll just be like, not paranoid and be like talking about something the FBI probably is concerned about. So it's weird like that. So I definitely, I guess, pick and choose my battles. But I always highly recommend best practices. And gosh, I just had a brain fart. See, the gas. Brain gas.
I like what you said. Pick your battles, because the reality is I mean, let's be honest. We all like to think we live in a safe world, but crime always precedes justice. Like, the law is only as good as the crime, which means criminals are always ahead of the law people. Yeah, that makes sense.
That was the point. I think that you brought me back to my brain, or you fixed my brain part. So I am always about like baddies. So being ahead of protecting yourself against baddies, because nobody gives a crap. Like you said, Brandon, nobody gives a crap about where you live except the baddies. So protecting, like I always recommend, a lot of places have Whois policy or privacies, Whois privacies for free or for like $7 a year, and that can anonymize your personal information, because the database, the internet database requires access to, I don't know if everybody knows this, but when you have a website, you're required to like have your admin contact details, for like there are reasons for it, but no, the entire world doesn't need to know your mailing address and your phone number and your email and like who you are. So Whois privacy will definitely I don't know if you guys talked about this, will definitely help anonymize that for you. So I always recommend that for all of my clients.
How much?
All my friends.
I would say we haven't discussed that, but do you know off the top of your head typically how much that costs for people to get set up when they're getting their domain?
Some of them, like I said, have it for free or part of the package already. And then, like for me, I'm on GoDaddy. Don't hate me, but they've been awesome for me for 11 years. Theirs is $7.99 a year, so
Okay.
it's cheaper. I mean, it's for $2, for 2 cups of coffee, 1.5 cups of coffee at Starbucks. I mean, your data is not everywhere, because like I said, the baddies know where to look. So the baddies might know, okay, your address is here. Your address is your contact information is usually going to be in the legal documents on your website. And then if you're also then saying, hey, I'm going on vacation, like the baddies know how to do this. So it's like all these pieces together.
And I want to add in that I am not a baddie, but
I hope
and
not.
I don't know where to hack and get addresses and stuff, but I'm savvy enough on social media and the internet that most Americans, because we share fucking everything, like the first thing we think of doing when something happens in our life is to jump on social media and go.
Yep.
So with that being said, someone that's mildly savvy like myself can jump online, jump on social media, and with a minimal amount of effort and research can hone in on a lot of details on a person. So the real key is, you can get all these features and these programs and stuff, but the real key is just be conscious of what you're doing. And if you don't want someone knowing about something, don't put it out there in the world. Because as soon as it's out there, it's out there. And once people start talking about it on social media, it becomes fact, even if it isn't fact.
And even to talk about that, I have had a number of clients. When I first started my business, we would, have our first meeting, and the first thing that they would do is give me all of their information, all of their passwords, their email passwords, their Facebook passwords, everything. And so my immediate response would be, I need these. Yes, thank you. Never give these out to anyone else again. Clearly, I have an amazing trusting faith. But regardless, you don't know if someone's a freaking baddie or not. Like, don't just hand your shit out to people for fun. Clearly, I was there to help them, but I feel like sometimes people that see you or see someone as an expert, or have not even having a relationship with any of these clients, our literal first meeting, here you go, here's 10 of my passwords and all my information. Yep. So you need to be careful about how you're sharing that and who you're sharing that with. I'm not saying don't trust people that you're going to contract with or work with, but don't just hand it over. Like, get past that first date. I mean, come on, wait till the third date or something.
Well, even deeper than that, be cautious of the people you connect with as well, too. Like, a lot of people, and I've discussed this on my page before and in videos, but like, you're not just hurting yourself when you accept weirdos into your friends list on social media. You're hurting the other people on your friends list as well, because that's giving that person the foot in the door to access everybody else in your list. We've all had friends requests come through where you look at them and they're like, oh, I got 70 people in common. I'm going to go ahead and accept them. You know how many times I've gotten friend requests from people that we got over 100 people in common, and I spent a few seconds doing some research, and they are clearly a fake account. But because they worked hard and got their numbers up, now everybody else just automatically accepts it. It's like, put in your research, and put in the time.
And that's what recently happened with Facebook is it was the friends who were hacked, which ended up happening everybody, if that makes sense. I'm not explaining that right, but that's recently what the Facebook issue was with Cambridge Analytica was.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing, like Brandon was saying, is you trust your friends. And so when you get a friend request and you see that you have mutual friends in common, it's really easy to just go, okay, well, I have 10 mutual friends in common. It must be good. I've even seen spammers where I had like 20 or 30 friends in common, which is just terrifying because that means at least 20 of my friends didn't take the time to look at their
And here's the
friend
worst
request.
part. Here's the worst part. I get those same requests, and the friends that we have in common are high-ranking friends that we all would deem worthy of saying, okay, if this person vets them, then I can vet them. And we all do it. The point of the moral of the story is the puck stops with you. If you want to secure your ass, it's your responsibility. So yes, you can go out there and get these programs and all this other stuff. The bottom line is you need to make sure that it's a priority for you, and you set aside time to make sure that you're keeping your ass covered.
Not to mention, easily report that profile and they'll take it down pretty soon.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Always report spam. Like when you deny a friend request, especially on desktop, I haven't seen it on mobile in a while, but on desktop, it'll give you the option to mark that account as spam. Always do that if you think even for a second. Because if they're not spam, the person's fine. But if they are spam, you just saved a bunch of other people. You're helping putting a stop to the shit.
Brittany and Brandon can attest to this. I have sent them messages and said, who is this person? How do you know them? So then I know if I should accept them or not.
And I've done
if I
that
see
before.
that they're mutual.
I recommend doing that because sometimes, like even for me, I have had to go back through my friends list because when I started adding more people to my network, I was just accepting friend requests. I was what?
Sorry. Yes, Ashley, this is a live for white people talking about snitching. You hit the nail right on the head. I'm glad you caught that. I wasn't sure anybody
to bring
would.
in some diversity. I didn't even think about that.
That's very racist, Ashley, to assume that we're all white people. I am Italian.
Me too.
I'm not always white. If I'm in the sun enough, I actually am not white. I'm kind of caramel.
I'm white.
I'm a pasty white girl.
I have white in me. Well, I guess I'm all white actually, technically. But yeah, no, I'm Italian too. When I go to Italy, it's like accent, everything. My husband's like, oh god.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was hilarious. I had to comment.
But I was just saying how I think I've had to, as I've learned how to. Oh yeah.
We gotta mute you, Amy. Your
Yeah,
wind is loud.
Yeah. I've had to learn how to actually look at the friend requests and filter them, and then go back through my old friends because I'm sure I accepted some spammers when I was first starting out because I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I first started having people going like, why are you friends with this person? They're a spammer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what?
And that actually brings up a great point because that's a practice I've recently started doing. I've been getting so many friend requests and they've been coming through the same people that I get to the point where if I see the same people in connection with these spam accounts over and over again, I unfriend those people because they are clearly a gateway into letting morons into our circle, and they are not the kind of person you want in your circle anyways. They may be a nice person, but they just don't get it. And you don't want to get in the car with someone that's driving who just doesn't get it, because that one time they just don't get it could kill you. I think that
not to mention you said it was a gateway, so they're clearly on other stuff.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. They're usually involved with some shit themselves. Like they're probably being spammy and just want to accept anybody because to them it's a numbers game and not a quality game.
Or they're geotagging their photos and
yeah, all that good stuff.
All their locations.
Here's another thing too that I find when it comes to security. All right, so we talk about one end of the spectrum of the people who are blatantly spammy. We don't want to deal with them. Another end of the spectrum are the people who are so completely introverted and have everything so blocked off and tucked away. I don't trust them either. Like if you send me a friend request and I go to your page and I can't see any of your photos, any of your posts, nothing but your ugly smug face sitting on the front page, we're not gonna be friends because you got a lot
Michael
of
had
bats
that
in the
point,
belfry.
too.
Well,
Michael
and,
That if I can't see a timeline with real activity, no go. I think that's like the main takeaway is if people don't have their own original thoughts, then
Yeah, that's a big one actually. For me, a dead giveaway. Like if I see someone doing their own actual live, like if I see the image on their profile picture and I see that face in a video doing their own live, it's a pretty safe bet. It's a good account. Now whether you want to accept them or not, that's up to you based on the performance on their account. But yeah, I immediately reject anybody where all I see for their post is just them sharing someone else's content from somewhere else. That's not a quality connection. You're not going to get anything from that connection. It's just going to boost your numbers, which it ain't a numbers game anymore. You can have 5 connections, but those 5 connections could be Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, I don't know. You name 5 really famous and powerful motherfuckers, and they're going to be a hell of a lot more powerful than 500 of the local trailer trash fuckers.
It's a quality over quantity thing. I mean,
that's what I was trying to say, but I was trying to be funny, and it didn't come out like that. So
nope.
you're hilarious.
Jason, what's up, brother? We got Jason again. Another shout out to Ashley. Who else do we got on here? Any other shout outs? Anupam Sharma. Wow, I hope I said that right, dude. I know I've tried that a few times. I fuck it up. I'm the worst with names. I fuck up my own name at times. For those of you who are wondering. Depends on the day of the week. Seems like I only need 2. Only need 2 what? I don't follow Jason. You're killing me, Smalls. All right. Another thing too. Like when you're in groups and you're running around and engaging, I've noticed those people that are like hyper engaging and not like, how do I want to put this? Like hyper helpful, like they want to help out all the time with absolutely everything everywhere. Keep an eye out.
You know you're talking about me, right?
Huh?
You know you're talking about me, right?
I help out a lot.
No. None of us. I know we all help out a lot, but I'm talking like you can tell them they seem fake, like their comments are fake, like
well, even
like they're not actually helping. They're just asking leading questions. Like I don't know. I'll have to give an example. We'll have to do a video. But anyways, keep an eye out for those people as well, because usually what they're doing is they're fishing for information to look for a place to get their foot in the door. Go ahead.
I would say too, like one of the things that we look out for in the Gorilla Group for moderator purposes is it's not always necessarily that it's a direct spammer that comes in, but are they showboating? Are they conducting market research? Could they be asking like we've had people come in, they ask a question that people think is harmless, but if you actually look at their profile and know what they do, they were kind of trying to get a segue into discussing themselves and their business. They're just trying to be less spammy about it. But those are even things to watch out for because it's still spam and it's still going to drag us into a conversation that we may not have actually wanted to go down.
Also be cautious of, and I just thought of this, the websites that you share your information on. Like for instance, my stepmother has had her account information stolen like 3 times in the last year because she keeps going on to these websites and buying little trinkets and knickknacks and seeds and things like that from super sketchy sites. You have to be cautious. You have to, be aware of the site you're working with. I tend to stick with the big name brand ones because they're usually safe, just because they're in the public eye enough that they can't fuck up. Because if they do, it costs them a lot of money. So just be careful about that as well too.
They also have the money if they to not care if they fuck up. I have noticed that the bigger companies are less quick to enforce things sometimes.
Well, because for them it's a money game. I mean,
Yeah.
even something as simple, well, not simple, but like the whole Volkswagen scandal that happened with Dieselgate. I mean, it's a lie. It was a fraudulent claim, right? But someone at some point made the decision that, okay, if we get caught, it's gonna cost us this much money. Every company does that. Or when something happens, they determine when they need to fix the problem in order to save themselves. And if it's not cost effective to fix it right then, they're not gonna.
No. Well, that's a given. Anyways, Jess, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to say, make the extra fucking effort to read a privacy policy or read the notice that Facebook gives you. I mean, I know it's daunting and it's a pain in the ass, but look at what you could be losing. I mean, you could be losing all of the money in your bank account. You could be losing the location of where you are or your children are. I mean, it's serious shit. So to take that extra 5, even 10 minutes, it's worth it because of all of the shit that you are putting at risk by clicking that personality test or, something as stupid as that. That's how shit goes.
A few years ago, there was this, before Apple, I always use whatever. I always use this example. Before Apple got the flashlight app or native flashlight, people kept downloading flashlight apps, and there was this one that it wanted access to your camera because it needs the flash, but it also wanted access to your private photos. And why does it? No flashlight app needs access to your private photos. So everybody was like, when they discovered this, they're like, there's big news about it. But it's like you said, privacy policy. Pay attention. What are they doing with your data? People do sell your data to others, which is illegal now with the GDPR and all that stuff. But people do sell your stuff, and they do use third-party plugins. So it's not only that immediate website, it's not only are they secure, are they taking the precautions, but are the third-party plugins that they're using, are they taking the precautions? A lot of third-party plugins are just not even wanting to be compliant because they don't want to deal with it. So what does that mean? If they're using Dropbox to store your email address, or if they're using ConvertKit to store your email address or billing information or any of that, like, what are they using, and are they also compliant? So unfortunately, it's not a fun treasure hunt or scavenger hunt, but it's so important to know that. Now, ConvertKit and Dropbox are compliant, but like I said, some companies are just choosing not to be compliant altogether because they don't have to be. They don't want to spend the money. They're shutting down altogether. They think it's like that when the Affordable Care Act came out. They're like, it's cheaper to just pay the fines than to enforce all this stuff. So that's the thing. That's another thing.
Real quick shout out to my niece Dayla, my oldest niece. She's the one who just got married in Arkansas, where we just went. She's watching, so shout out to her.
How's it going?
Congratulations.
Jason brings up a good point. If you really get deep into the internet and you're going to be doing a lot of activity on there, it's a good idea to create a separate account where you're going to be doing your business dealings with, one where you're going to be doing your purchases with and stuff like that, even a separate bank account as well too. That way you have a limited amount of money in there, so if you need to make purchases online and someone gets that information, you're not losing the whole house. Basically, it comes down to, don't put it out there if you're not willing to lose it. Just like gambling. Don't gamble with money you're not willing to lose. The same thing applies online. Don't put information out there you're not willing to lose. If you lose it and it costs you everything, the sad fact is that's your fault. Now, you can put your personal information out there and people can access your account, but you can have things in play that can stop that stuff so you only lose a little bit instead of everything.
Sure.
I think we talked about this last time. One simple thing that you can do is, and I recorded a quick little tutorial video of it, and it's on our Prime page. You can segment your friends in your friends list. So you can
Yes.
allow certain people to see certain things. Everything you share doesn't have to be seen by your entire friends list. You can only share it with family members or acquaintances or whatever. So it is pretty simple to do that. I mean, if you have a lot of people on your list to go through and click all of those. However, if you, I have a lot of my family members on Facebook, and I share a lot of stuff about my kids. I do a lot of it publicly as well, but there are some things that I do share, privately with them. And it took, all I did was sort out those people and put them in a list. So now I know that they're the only ones seeing it.
Yeah. And I was gonna
You're
mention.
muted.
Oh,
Unmute yourself.
well, you have the clicker. I thought you were gonna. I was muted. Sorry, we were fighting over. And he knew I was muted, but he has a mouse that can unmute me. But instead of unmuting me, he chose to tell me.
Listen, a child never learns its lesson if you keep fixing its issues for it.
Fuck you. Okay. So Jason followed up to your comment, and I caught what he had said, but he was also saying that we should make a separate user account on your computer so that for your business account is separate from your personal account, so that everything is separated out.
Which
I agree
makes
with.
sense. That's
Yeah.
deep security, and yes, that's definitely a level everybody should operate at.
Even on the security post that I had made, Danielle, what's her name? It's that Danielle B. She's in the Gorilla Group, but she commented a whole ton on the post, and she had a lot of great ideas as far as how she create security for herself. And like one of the things is she puts a lot of things on jump drives and stuff. And then when she's done working, she unplugs it so it's not connected to anything. So even if she does get hacked or something, the information is still safe.
Yep. I do the same thing. I also never use computers that have built-in cameras and microphones. I always get them so I can plug them in.
I don't know if it's weird or if it's like legit, but I unplug my webcam whenever I'm done using it, and shut my computer. I don't know that someone really cares to hack in that way, but I do it because of like the Apple TV something. People were able to look through your camera, but I don't need anybody watching me sleep.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely something people do. I mean, remember all the talks about people hacking into baby cams and like talking to the kids and how creepy it is. Like we have it's a drop cam. I think it's called a Nest Cam now, and it has a lot more security features. And it's never happened to us in 3.5 years. But yeah, I mean, it's the same principle. If it's easy to hack into your Wi-Fi and all that stuff, they can do that, and it's gross and creepy, and people do it. Like I said, baddies, they know how to do all this stuff.
Baddies.
So, sorry, yeah. Well, one aspect of security that Anupam just brought up is that his worry is that he has his 5-year-old nephew installing games by clicking on ads wherever he gets hold of his phone. He just clicks every green button, and then it opens the Google Play and everything. But it is a serious.
It is,
thing.
and there's no. I mean, I think some people feel in society that we can avoid this, and it's unavoidable. This is the route we're going. There's no stopping it. Big industry is already doing it. We're in a connected world. The days of buying a piece of land out in the middle of nowhere and nobody on earth knowing you exist, that it doesn't happen anymore. I mean, there's not a population of people on this planet that we don't know exists now. So the fact of the matter is, we all got to get comfortable with our personal stuff being out there, which means I think as a society, we got to learn to shift mentally from, oh, I can't share this with everybody because blah, 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 blah. I think we're going to have to shift to a society that says, this is who I am, this is what I got going on. It is what it is, so you have to be comfortable. It goes back to what I said earlier. Don't put it out there if you're not afraid to lose it. If you're afraid of other people finding out something about you, you're living in the wrong time era.
that
And
dog.
two, like talking about 5-year-olds, I have a 5-year-old, and I think and Amy's a mom, we've talked about this before, and my kid uses an iPad for school, and I hate to admit it, has an iPhone that she plays on at home. But regardless, we talk about internet safety. And even in school, they learn about internet safety, what it's safe to share with people. And when she started getting into YouTube and really liking these YouTube channels, these little girl, her favorite one is like 7 Perfect Angels or something. And she's like, "Oh, I want to meet so and so. Like, how do we know where she lives?" And I'm like, "That's a great point that you bring up." She also has her own YouTube channel. So I said, what if you were a bad person and you wanted to steal her toy? I mean, you have to steal her toys. Do you think she would want people to know where she lives? And she's like, no. So I feel like it's important to communicate that with your kids. I mean, because this is the world that we live in. I mean, shit is online. They're going to do stuff online. And kudos to you if you're a parent that doesn't do screen time and shit. But I do, and we make sure that we talk about the things that are important that we don't share. Her first name is okay. She was recording a YouTube video the other day, and she was writing her name, and she's like, "I'm going to write out my whole name." And I'm like, "Do you really want to do that? Do you really want everyone to know what your last name is?" And she's like, "You know what? You're right. I don't." So, just trying to get her to come to that realization on her own, instead of me telling her like, "No, you can't do this." I'm trying to like not foster that rebellious thing. But the sooner you talk to your kids and get it in their minds, the better, I think.
Yeah. And again, we're muted.
Muted.
Yep, fixed. And again, I keep coming back to the same point is, it falls on our shoulders. You have to be adaptive enough so that if something does happen, it doesn't destroy your world. You can pick yourself up and keep going because it's not going to stop. I mean, people's information is going to get stolen no matter how secure you are. I mean, look at some of the most secure, like, governments. I mean, you got that hacker group, Anonymous. They proved that even some of the most secure facilities on the planet are not beyond being hacked into, and that includes government. So the reality is, no matter where you put your information, it's not safe. So, again, don't be afraid to lose everything. Make sure you stock up on your Armageddon stuff, just in case it happens. And learn how to kill with your bare hands if need be.
So I wanted to, with that point, I bring up this example of Hillary Clinton's emails. You don't actually really own any of the shit on the internet unless you maybe have certain
Unless
types
you own
of
the wires that it's traveling on, you own the servers that it's stored in, you're own the systems that it's all connecting with. And if that's the case, then your name is God.
People do it. Charles Moore, if you're still on, like he has pretty impressive setup. So you can do it, but you really have to know how to do it. You have to take time to do it. But like I said, even if you use Gmail, like Google still owns that. If you use Facebook, Facebook owns it. If you use Canva, Canva technically owns it. Like Hillary Clinton, like I think, I don't remember. It's been a few years, but like even if she used like the government stuff, like the government uses it. It's the government's, which is why she used her own. But then she still didn't really own it. So
you don't own anything anymore. You don't even own your own body. Let's be honest. It's owned. If the government wants it, they're gonna come take it. So let's be realistic. But
that's morbid.
yes, as we digress from the morbidity, we're at a 45-minute mark here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, which is a great way to segue into the last topic I want to discuss here, which is Memorial Day coming up right around the corner. Talking about security and protection, this is an opportunity for those of you out there who are new to the internet world, or you have an existing internet presence and you're looking to expand and you want to grow it, especially for you veterans out there. Mad respect to you guys and thank you for doing what you do. We want to give a little something back on this Memorial Day, us here at Prime, your fellow primates. And go ahead and do an evaluation and a free consultation of your existing web presence or your brand presence, and let you know the areas where you're not as secure as you'd like to be, and point out some of the areas where you could possibly improve on to help benefit you on the journey that you're on. Because not every web presence is the same. Not everybody's brand is the same. Your goals are going to be different than my goals and vice versa. Therefore, the needs for your web presence are going to be different than mine. And a lot of us come into this internet world not realizing or not knowing those different key points and those steps that we should be taking to get there. That's why we want to go ahead and extend that offer out to those for this Memorial Day.
Yes.
And that's the last
Well-
topic I want to talk about. Again,
But
smash that like button, smash that love, drop a comment, let us know you're here. If you're a replay, hashtag replay primate. Britt, you were going to say?
well, I was gonna say you mentioned the word free, and how you get it free is by, well, we're raffling off 5 free consultations for veterans that.
Details. That's why we have women.
Yes.
They pay attention to details.
So, if you are interested in a free consultation and you are a veteran, then look out for our post that will be coming out later today, which will talk about how you can make that happen. Since we're only giving 5 free ones away, we do have a discounted rate for veterans for Memorial Day who do not get picked for the 5, but
All the details for that will be in the post
yes.
issued later today on the Prime Collective business page. So, with that being said, ladies, would you like to contribute anything else before we wrap this up? No.
Nope.
Awesome. All right. So once again, thank you, Prime Nation, for taking the time to watch us, humor us. I know we digressed a lot, but hopefully we covered some topics that help open your eyes and helped you see the importance of security and protection. Again, if you have any questions or comments, let us know in the comments section. Drop a like, drop a love. If you think we did great, let us know. If you think we did terrible, let us know. If you have any suggestions on things we should talk about, let us know. Hashtag replay primate. If you're here on the replay, Britt has something else she'd like to add because I can't end this enough times.
Well, because you're not remembering everything you were supposed to say.
I'm fired.
I don't know the exact details, but either Jess or Amy, you can fill us in. You guys had mentioned that John Jones is doing a live today about GDPR. So do you guys have the deets?
Go ahead, Amy, if you want to.
I'll drop the link in the comments. It's going to be a Zoom webinar that I think he's actually doing at like 5 or 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time. I think it's 8:30 for him. But yeah, he's going to be, it's going to be probably like Q&A format for everybody that's concerned about the GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulations that the European Union is kind of starting to enforce tomorrow. There's a lot that goes in with it. And yes, it does affect U.S. business owners, worldwide business owners. In my opinion, it is just good practice and good business ethics. But yeah, there is going to be a 2-year grace period, I believe. So even though it starts tomorrow, you do still have 2 years to make sure you're compliant. And he, like I said, he's going to go into all of that. And that's tonight or in a few hours. And like I said, I've dropped the link. I did share it in the group earlier this week as well.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. So
Now you
keep
can
an eye out in the comments for the link to that. Now I can wrap it up. I'm getting the
Yes.
head nod from Britt. I can go ahead and wrap this up. So again, hashtag replay primate. Thank you guys for joining us. We look forward to seeing you here again next week for another Prime Time Live.
Bye.